All right, and we're recording. And welcome to Webcast Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us. Did you know that there is a way to get even more control out of your Tableau dashboards? Imagine having control over the overall experience in which people consume your visualizations. And as a metaphor, just like think about Disney. Like their main attractions are the rides, but you often have to wait in long lines to ride them, right? So to create better customer experience, they turn their lines into these entertaining adventures all of their own. So just like those lines, just like those lines at Disney, you can have control over not just the exciting parts of your visualization, but also the necessary parts. But before we get into that, I'd like to take a minute or two and let you know what Webcast Friday is and who we are. My name is Chris Armstrong. I'm the multimedia manager here at Interworks. And Interworks is a people-focused technology consulting agency based in Stillwater, Oklahoma, with offices all around the world, including Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Chicago, New York City, San Francisco, Christchurch, London, Germany, and the Netherlands. And Webcast Fridays are 20 to 30-minute-ish presentations that show off some of the more interesting and more of the interesting work that we do. So our hope is that you find it informative and inspiring. Webcast Fridays happen every other Friday, and you can find our future ones at interworks.com/events. Today, Derrick Austin, Interworks' integration practice lead, will introduce you to embedded analytics, which is an incredible way to do some really cool stuff around your visualizations. We will have a time of Q&A at the end, so feel free to use that Q&A button in the meeting, and we will get to those. So, Derrick, take it away, man.
Thanks, Chris. As Chris started to mention a little bit, my name is Derrick Austin. I'm the integration practice lead here at Interworks. I work on basically turning Tableau into a platform versus a software product. I have a background in computer science and an MBA, so it pairs really well in the Tableau space, the programming experience paired with the business experience. I'm also a Tableau community ambassador, so I spend a lot of times on the Tableau forums, Twitter, etc., helping out people with their various Tableau questions, in particular around embedded analytics, which is definitely my specialty. To kick it off, I'm sure everybody is here because they know Tableau is a great product. But, there's always a but, right? Tableau is an even better platform. And what do I mean by that? Well, a product is something that is fairly static, and it's not going to change a lot. So if you think of Excel, it's not super expandable. You can do a few things to kind of expand it, but it's fairly in its box. A platform, however, can be infinitely expanded upon. Users can extend and expand the platform easily and build it into what they want it to be. A product is a silo unto itself. It's all by itself in a kind of a corner of your organization. A platform, however, is really a piece in the greater puzzle. It fits into your existing systems and processes and really molds itself in your organization. By using Tableau Server with the JavaScript and REST APIs, we can actually use Tableau as a platform in our organization instead of just a software product. To illustrate this, have you ever taken a Tableau dashboard that you poured your heart and soul into, hours of work, it has all the bells and whistles, published it to Tableau Server, only to realize days, weeks, months, or even years later that nobody is looking at this dashboard. It's sitting there and no one is using it. Why does that happen? Why everything that you want in it is there? Everything anybody could ever want in it is there. But your masterpiece is not being utilized. The answer, embedded analytics. Embedded analytics is all about making that unfound perfect report found. It's about getting your audience engaged in your reports in an easy, simple to use way. Basically, we're taking Tableau Server and adding a web interface. Tableau Server has an interface, but if we can take it and make a targeted area to gather data for your users, you can make it really simple so that they can hop in and grab their existing KPIs or existing visualizations, etc., without any barrier to entry. We basically just make it really simple, really easy to use, and integrate it with your existing company processes so that they can take and get their dashboards without any barrier at all. So what does this look like? It looks like a lot of different things. Because it is a web page, it's very customizable. I have on my screen now our example of a portal, this is our demo portal that we show off to new clients at Interworks. This is what it could look like. This is absolutely not what it has to look like for your organization. A couple of things here that you'll notice: we have a targeted navigation structure that is customizable for you, for your dashboards, so that you can make it whatever you want it to be. Whatever fits your scenario best, add it to the navigation, set it up. Of course, this has an Interworks branding on it. That's just because it's our demo. In your portal environment, you can obviously put your logos, your colors. If you want that navigation on the side of the screen instead of the top, it's up to you. Do what you want. Colors, even what goes on the home page, can be completely customized in a portal environment because it is a web page. On this particular demo, you'll notice a couple of cool things that we did here that I like to show off. In the upper right-hand corner, we have search functionality. It will search across the dashboards on your portal environment, but it can also search across more. It can search across static pages that you've set up, or maybe you have some legacy Cognos reports hanging out that you also want to be able to search across. Search functionality does not have to be limited to Tableau dashboards. Next to the search area, you'll notice that we have a user account logged in now called Portal Demo. The portal environment does not mean that you have to be separated from your users on Tableau server. In fact, with our portals, we integrate very heavily with the existing Tableau server users, whether you're set up with a local authentication or something more complex like SAML. It's very simple to tie those two together so that things like permissioning is automatically inherited in the portal area. If I don't have access to the education dashboard on this homepage, for instance, then simply hide it. Present another dashboard to this particular user. In the middle of the screen, you'll see some featured dashboards. Two of those have little golden stars. And what that means in our setup and what it could mean in yours is that those are favorited dashboards for this particular user. So these dashboards are one that my user, my portal demo user, has gone in and noticed that those are really important to me. And so I have bookmarked those to the home page. I've simply favorited them. After that, we have a dashboard that's suggested to my user based on my browsing history and what other people like me browse. So kind of a mini market basket analysis of dashboards. Along the bottom of the page, we simply presented the user with some recently viewed dashboards. If I've seen a dashboard recently, it's probably something I see fairly often. And so it makes a lot of sense to kind of put that on the homepage here. That's what we have on our homepage. Yours could be anything. It is a web page, so it's very customizable. We have clients that instead of something like this, they like having a static HTML page that has some information about the portal, maybe how to use it, maybe a giant image that's kind of a marketing thing. We have users that instead they like to have a big dashboard on the homepage with some high-level KPIs so that their executive team has one page to hit, and that's where they get all of their numbers. There's definitely a lot of different options for what you do here. Kind of clicking into a dashboard, you'll notice in the middle of the screen, we have our dashboard as rendered on Tableau server. This is just a dashboard, exactly like you'd see on Tableau server. You'll notice the outside part is completely customized to our client, to our users. We've themed it so that they have a really easy interface, a really clean interface, and something that feels like a web page versus a platform, versus a software product. You'll notice we still have all of our export functionality like we have on Tableau Server. We have favoriting, subscriptions. We even have some extra stuff like filters and PowerPoint export that you don't really get in Tableau Server. But you can, and because the portal environment is expandable, you can take those and build upon what Tableau gives you out of the box. You have a ton of different, you have a ton of flexibility in how this looks and how it feels. So this could be just some simple color changes like you see on this dashboard, or maybe we're going into a more intensive look and feel. We have a side navigation and some yellow coloring here instead. Or maybe we need a side navigation with some gray coloring. There's a lot of different options here. You're open to whatever makes sense as far as styling. Lots and lots of flexibility with that. Because it is a web page, though, we can do a lot of really advanced stuff that we can't really do in Tableau. For instance, maybe we want to add comments to our dashboards. It's very easy to set up something like this, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in how your users interact with your dashboards. In this particular example, we've attached to the marks in Tableau and allowed you to simply click on a mark, add a comment, and even a color code for that comment so that your users can add that data and instantly see it in your Tableau dashboards. We simply blended it in, and then it shows up in the tooltip. This could be a lot of different things. It could be drill downs. It could be shown on a different page of some type. A lot of flexibility in how this looks. It's basically a data point at this point, and so you can do whatever you can do in Tableau with a data point. You can do it with this particular comment that's now been added and joined into your data. Another really cool thing that I like to show off is dynamic parameters. It's one of the biggest items on the Tableau ideas forums, but yet Tableau, they don't have a really great solution yet. They have added, of course, the ability to filter across multiple data sets, and that's helped a lot. But if you need a parameter to be updated with the values from another field in your Tableau workbook, you can do that one time right now in Tableau, but it's static. So if you need those to be updated when the data changes, you're kind of stuck. You have to use a filter. And sometimes that doesn't work the way that you want it to. So something that we've added to our portal product is the ability to get parameter options from the data itself. You simply give the parameter a field name, and when the user downloads the data, they get presented parameter options based on the data in the dashboard. So if that data changes, or if they don't have access to certain data points, they don't see those in their parameter dropdown. They only see what makes sense to them. Another really cool piece of functionality that we've added is the ability to export to Microsoft PowerPoint. As you're well aware, this makes your dashboard static, and I feel the pain of everybody listening right now. But for our end users, it's something that's really helping them engage and share these visualizations across the organization. PowerPoint is a really great tool for showing other people your dashboards. And basically, we've added the ability to snapshot a dashboard with whatever filters you have selected, go to another dashboard, select some more filters, hit add this to my PowerPoint deck, and then download the presentation when you're done with snapshots of all of those dashboards already built into the presentation. Loading screens are another really cool item. I would say they're kind of gimmicky almost, but our clients love them. So Tableau loading screen is a simple circle loading screen, exactly like you'd expect in a lot of different places. But we've had clients request to replace that with something. And so what we've done is we built into the portal a very simple way to do that. We simply replace that with an animated GIF, and then the clients can actually choose what that is. If they want the animated GIF, they can use it. If they want to have their own, they can do that. We have clients that have actually taken pictures of products that they make, and they add loading now to those product images so that they can have a place to advertise their new products. There's a lot of different things that you could do here, but your user definitely doesn't need to look at a half-loaded dashboard with a spinny wheel. Give them something visual to look at, something to make it look like that extra step of a flair. Just kind of call that out and shine up that dashboard. Data refresh timers are another interesting feature. These are used mainly when users have dashboards that they want to put on a TV screen on the wall. I would say that's the biggest use case for these. Essentially, when the data within that dashboard updates, you have to manually refresh the dashboard itself, or find some programmatic way to refresh that dashboard. And so what we've added to our portal solution is just a really simple way to do that. We've set a time period that the user can select, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever makes sense there, and it refreshes the data in the dashboard. This obviously is a live connection, or maybe it's an extracted one that refreshes fairly often. Regardless, it goes back to Tableau server, grabs the latest data, however far back it can get, and then shows that to your end users so that you don't manually have to refresh that dashboard. The data science applications of this are also really huge. I'm going to actually hop out of PowerPoint real quick, and I'm going to show you our data science portal. This is a portal themed around enabling data science in the Tableau environment in ways that you can't really do with Tableau itself. To actually show this in action, we have a lot of demos here. It's datasci.enterworks.com, but our demos are listed here. You can kind of go through them on your own. I'm actually going to show off one, which is our HR new hire assignment. Basically, this assessment takes some information about a particular candidate. So we can choose their education level, their years of experience, different technical aspects, rank them on a particular set of skills, hit submit, and then this will actually go out, save this form to a database, run some calculations, and then present us with a Tableau dashboard that has this user analyzed alongside some existing employees at our organization. So we can easily see this candidate is an achieving learner. They have a lot of strength in achiever. They are really good at learning. They're strategic. We can then click into these different areas and see which candidates which employees they're like. So we can compare them to particular employees. And we've even added, outside of the Tableau arena, a little D3 node diagram down here so you can see who they're closest to connection-wise. There's a lot of different similar demos on this website, so I definitely encourage you guys to check this out when you have time. It's a really cool way of bringing some additional functionality to Tableau. Essentially, we have a web form. We insert that data into a database, and then we do some more further analysis on it. Simple technology, just expanding what Tableau has out of the box. On our next area, you can actually have other reporting systems, very similar to the node diagram we looked at, side by side with Tableau dashboards in a portal environment. So we've actually set up a demo here of D3 and a Tableau dashboard. And you simply interact with the D3 dashboard on the side. If you're not familiar with D3, it's another reporting platform similar to Tableau. And it does some interesting things. It does require coding. So I would say a lot of times people use Tableau for simplicity. And this is probably one area where you might want to program in something if you want this particular type of diagram. But as you can see, when I interact with the D3 visualization on the left-hand side, it updates my Tableau visualization on the right-hand side. And so the two can actually work together seamlessly and interact with each other, basically just sending data back and forth so that you can visualize the different filters that the user is clicking on in D3. Jumping back to our presentation, there's a lot of different ways to do portals, embedded analytics with Tableau. The traditional model is JavaScript API with the REST API. It does require web development knowledge though. So if you don't have that on staff, that can definitely be a hurdle to getting some cool things set up. It is free though. So besides the time, you have no input into it, and you can build to your heart's content, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in what you do. Another model is what we're doing at Interworks. We actually have a portal product, which you saw a little bit of today, and you can demo on portaldemo.interworks.com and find out more about on portals.interworks.com. It has all this functionality built in already. There's no coding necessary. The backend UI for this is very simple to use. You simply go in, you select your dashboard that you want, you add it to the navigation. Things like the commenting, for instance, are very easy to add into this as well with a simple user interface and then some changes on your Tableau side. We're constantly updating this platform as well. So we're giving out regular updates and new functionality over time as you build out, or as we build out features for the platform. And so it's a constantly evolving platform for you that kind of helps you get started in the portal world if you don't have that web developer on staff. Jumping forward, just kind of to summarize, why would we want embedded analytics in our organization? The biggest thing I always say is the look and feel customization. It gives you a customized navigation so that you can target particular audiences without having a billion menu items. Very clean, targeted interface so that you can hand this URL to your CEO without giving them any instructions on how to use it. It's a very familiar feel, like a website, like what they're used to. And so they don't have to ask you those questions. They have no barrier to entry except clicking that link. It also brings in a lot of additional functionality. So when people want to export to PowerPoint, or they want their data refresh every 30 seconds, or maybe they want that commenting, it's there. And you can build onto that more and more, actually, because since embedded analytics is a platform instead of a software product, you have the flexibility to do a lot of different things. I think that people have really untapped this area, and there's going to be some really exciting stuff in the next couple of years coming to embedded analytics. If you want some more information, I mentioned a couple of websites. The portals.interworks.com has information on our product. We also have a blog channel dedicated to the Tableau JavaScript API. It has some really cool stuff in it that I've contributed, as well as several people from our team. It has things like the PowerPoint export, or things like those loading screens built into a blog. So if you want to try it, we have the basic methodology there, and you can plug it into your particular portal environment. If you do have questions, though, feel free to reach out. I have my email address listed here, basically derrick.austin@interworks.com. Simple to remember there. And there's also great documentation on the different API pieces on Tableau's website as well. And so I've added the links below for that. They have excellent documentation on both of the APIs and a lot of tutorials as well. So if you're new to web development, hop in, give it a try. They'll teach you a little bit there, and you may have to dive into web development in general a little bit more depending on your experience level, but it will get you started if nothing else. With that, I'll turn it back over to Chris.
Thanks, Derrick. That was great. Thank you for hosting today. And to all of you watching, thank you for joining. If you are watching this live, the recording will be up on our website, interworks.com/blog. If you're watching it on our blog, feel free to join us every other Friday, for live webcasts, and you can find those at interworks.com/events. If you have any questions, or maybe you think of some questions later, please fill out the contact form at portals.interworks.com. I promise we will get back to you. You can also find us on Facebook or Twitter. We are at Interworks. Feel free to hit us up there with feedback, comments, questions, memes, GIFs. We'd love to have a conversation with you. That's it for today. I'm going to pause the recording, and we will take questions here if you have any of those, but otherwise we will see you next time.